Hello, everyone. Dr. Nikhil Verma here with another episode of Things I Didn't Learn in Med School. Today, I want to talk about vulnerability and authenticity. Um, I think what I'm trying to do with this channel and what I'm trying to do with any content that I'm producing out there is to show authenticity. And in that same realm, there's going to be some vulnerability that comes along with it. You might notice that my awesome getup here is typically called my Sunday shirt because I wear it every Sunday for just around the house. I'm wearing it tonight on a Thursday night because it's really hot in Columbus, Ohio. So it kind of led me down the path of what I want to talk about today and kind of right on par with everything. So I actually won this basketball jersey in a shooting competition when I was in middle school. And I've worn it ever since. So here we are, all these years later, and I'm still wearing it, still rocking it. So, anyways, story for another day. I think the bigger part I do want to talk about is, I was not such a great person growing up. Roughly around the ages of 14 till 25, 26, 27. Some will argue even later than that. I don't know. A lot of it was driven through feelings of depression, of not feeling good enough, and it was driven by ego. There's no other way to really put it, and that was a big thing. It manifested a lot into anger and depression, and then later on, this depression and anger also manifested as anxiety. And I think these are things that we all go through. And by no way am I trying to say that I am discounting how other people feel. I'm just trying to give it from my experience and what I feel and what I've gone through. But it's a really important topic because I feel like in medicine and when we're going through these things, we don't talk about it enough. And when we don't talk about it enough, we kind of get trapped in things that we're the only people that feel this way. And that brings up a point that I want to talk about this fantastic author, Brene Brown. Some of you might have heard of her. She kind of made this real popular following for herself about being vulnerable and being courageous and doing things that other people won't do. I read a few of her books my intern year. I have the list here. I think I read Daring Greatly around then. I read The Gifts of Imperfection, Rising Strong. I think that's about all the books I've read of hers, but she has tons of other ones. And she continues to put more and more out there. And it's all in this concept of being vulnerable, but not being vulnerable to feed the ego, but to try to connect with other people. And in this, you can develop a better self-esteem and develop just a better outlook on life and honestly connecting with other people and helping other people out. I think if that's your main goal, then it's great. And at least that's what I try to do. And I just want to say that I say this quite often. I'm not the czar of the world. I don't really know anything. I'm just trying to figure this out, just like everyone else is. All I'm really trying to do is give my authentic ability to display this for others, and hopefully someone out there finds it useful, and hopefully they can take whatever I'm explaining to them and they can build on that so they can help more people out. And that's where I take this mindset, and this is what I really want to do, and this is why I started all this in the first place. And if any of you follow me on social media, these are why I post the kind of things that I post. And I don't think we know how to do it properly. I think there's a lot of people out there that do this for the likes, the follows, the messages, the the shares, all that stuff. I guess I would probably be lying to say that there isn't a part of me that does do it for that, but that's not my main intention. That might be a secondary, tertiary effect. And if it is an effect, it's probably more subconscious than it is conscious. Because I try not to do it for that effect. I was even questioning if I want to do this post and do it in this fashion, because I have someone that I know that recently made a video, and this person said on this video, the fastest way to get likes and follows and shares and messages is to be vulnerable. It's like, perfect. I agree with that. But now they're no longer doing that to help people, but doing it for your own ego and your own self-worth, and not the self-worth and I believe myself, but the self-worth that, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. And that's like the complete opposite of my entire message. Well, the sad part is this person had a loved one that got very, very sick. And when this loved one of theirs got very, very sick, the first thing that this person did was post on social media. Okay, I get it. Like, hey, maybe I'm going to take a break from social media. No, that's not what this person did. Hey, this is what's going on. I want everyone to know, I'm going to get through this. And the next 48 hours, they had to take this loved one off life support. And the post just kept going and going and going. And I'm just sitting here like, this is not what social media, this isn't what life should be about. In the dying hours of your loved one, maybe just take a break and put up the phone and maybe just be with the loved ones. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe I'm saying something wrong. I don't think that's how I would handle it. That's not how I would want to handle it. If I was sick, that's not how I'd want someone to handle it with me. I think that's the power of vulnerability, and the fine line that you might see that you can very, very quickly fall into this trap of doing it for the wrong reasons. Yeah. So this obviously gets tough to talk about, me being this vulnerable with a lot of people that I don't know, or I don't know how many people it's actually going to reach or whatever, but I think the entire message is being like, if you're going to do this, it should be in the purpose of getting better connections with people, especially the people that are closest to you. The people you should be most vulnerable with should be your loved ones, your significant other, your children, your family members, etc. I mean, your closest friends. I mean, these are people that you should be the most vulnerable with. And then, you have to have a realistic avenue or realistic expectation of how vulnerable others are going to be with you, and how this layer after layer after layer expands out to the rest of the world as we start getting further and further away from the people that you're in direct contact with every day. So the other reason why this is kind of tough for me to talk about is, I don't love to reminisce about my past. I had a friend of mine tell me, or it might have been my brother, I forget who it was exactly, but the message was important. They said, listen, if you continuously apologize for who you were in the past and all those shitty things that you did, you're just going to keep bringing it up, and you're never going to let it go. So the advice was, apologize, be sincere, truly mean it, reflect on what you did, and then do your best to move on. Go out in the world and be the best person that you can be. And when you can go do that, your reputation will catch up with you. I don't know if my reputation has caught up with me. I did, again, like I said, I did a lot of things I'm not so proud of now, back when I was younger. And at least I'm a little bit aware of why I was doing it, and these tendencies still kind of tend to come up. I had a patient come in the other day, and she was going through a lot. She's in a lot of pain. She was a walk-in appointment. She's been a patient of mine, but a walk-in patient. And she was in a lot of pain, and loved one has cancer. Another loved one might have to go get a big surgery, and all these things. And I was just talking to her. I was like, tell me what's going on in your life. And she explained. I was like, asked her, do you have anyone to talk to about this? In your family, do you have a therapist, a counselor? And she really didn't say she did. And she was like, no, everyone expects me to be the person because of this, that, and the other. And I felt really bad for her, and I became super vulnerable in that moment, because I was reflecting just on that day of how I feel like I have so much weight on my shoulder, and my manifestation of all this comes out in anger and inattentiveness and anxiousness, especially towards my staff or my loved ones, my parents, and that can be really, really tough. And I don't mean to do it, and I try to apologize afterwards. And but it was a realistic moment for me. In that moment, I kind of had a little brief awakening of like, man, this is how different people manifest different things. So I vowed from that day I'm going to try to be better. I'm going to try not to be so stressed about things. I'm going to try not to carry that weight in the world. But I think the most important thing is I'm starting to realize it, and I'm realizing more and more, and I'm trying to get tools to fix it in the future. Tools like Sam Harris's podcast and his meditation, waking up, Othership, breathing techniques, mindfulness techniques, reading books like Brene Brown's books or reading other spirituality books. I think those are important. And there's nothing else to be said that, like, maybe for some people, you should talk to a therapist or a counselor or somebody that can help guide you along these things and bring the realization to your life of what's going on. And that was something that I did my intern year, where I was going through a hard time of transitioning from medical school, where I had lots of friends, to intern year where I didn't know anybody. My life got changed, work hours increased, and I had to grow up in a certain sense of taking on more responsibilities for myself. And therapy during that time was pivotal for me, and it got me back on the right track. I wish I would have stuck with it longer. I wish I would have continued with it. And I think the big thing is, since then I've gone through different therapists that I just didn't get a good vibe with, or didn't appreciate, or didn't appreciate me, or whatever, and it just wasn't what I was looking for, and it was never comparable to that first time. So because of that, I really haven't gone consistently. Every time I go through a stressful time, I try to, like, hey, no, I know I'm reeling back. I want to go talk to someone about this, even for a few weeks. I think that in itself can really catapult you to the next level, and at least make you more aware and more kind to yourself and kind to others when these things come up. So I think the big message is, as long as your intentions are good and your heart is clear, you don't really have to explain yourself to other people, and you continue to just put out the value in the world, and you want to help those the other people out there. And I think that's an important message that people don't talk about enough, and I want to talk about it more. I want to talk about it with the people I'm closest with the most, and I hope this encourages you to do the same. There's this blog, and I'm blanking on the name of the author of the blog, but it's called Wait But Why. He puts out this grid of the amount of time that we're here in this earth, and it's broken up into days, little boxes into days, and those boxes change color to signify years, and then, or months, and then years, and etc. So there's essentially 80 years on that box, and I'm 30 years old, so I'm 34 years old, so I've lived 34 of those boxes are shaded. If there's 80 boxes, I'm almost at my halfway point. But now I think about my parents, and they're at the other edge of that. They're a little bit further on. They're 2/3 of their boxes might be full by now, and now you're looking at it like, wow. So how many of those boxes do I have left to spend with my family? I think when you start looking at things in a different perspective, in a pragmatic view, you can start opening up your heart and mind into how you can have these conversations with people. So I think this will be a little bit shorter of a video. I think this is an important topic because we don't learn how to do this in medical school. We don't learn how to navigate it. I know a lot of medical students are kind of bottled up and kind of keep it within their own group of friends, but they don't go out and get other resources to help, so they don't really know if they're doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And again, and I don't want to say like in force anyone to do something that they're not comfortable doing, but this is a big reality of how we're trained in the medical field. But if you truly want to make a difference for yourself, so therefore you can help more people, I think it's important to do these kind of things. So yeah, we'll leave it there. So if you guys are finding this beneficial, please share it. Please drop me some likes, drop me some comments. Go back to them. I'm not doing this for the ego satisfaction anymore. I hope not. But I am really trying to do this because I feel like if I continue to do this, I'll be able to help more people than I can ever imagine. And I'm going to post that on the wall somewhere in my office, because if I can keep that picture in my mind, then I know I'm going to continue to this path, and it'll give me joy to do these kind of things. So anyways, everyone have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.